What's up, guys? This is Cookbook, and you're listening to a call that we're recording here that's something called Goal100 that I do. This is I've got a few guys on the call with me. They're going to share with you exactly what this call has meant to them and what it's done for their lives, so that if you're on the fence or you're thinking about whether or not you want to open yourself up to something like this, that hopefully you'll hear from these guys and they'll say something that'll help you make the decision whether this is for you. Just to let you know who's on the call, again, my name is Cookbook, a.k.a. Jason Soto, my real name. We got my man Kali on the call. We got my man Henry on the call. We got Hayden, and we got my man Jamie. And these are all guys that I hand-selected to be on the call to give their testimonials and allow you to hear from them what Goal100 has meant to them and what they've gotten out of it. So I'm not going to talk too long here. I want to give these guys a chance to let you know their story. So, Kali, I'm going to start with you, man. What's up, brother?
What up? Yeah, man. My name is...
just let them know a little bit about you and what you do and what's happened with you in this year, 2017, on the call.
Okay, word. All right. So my name is Kali. I do a bunch of things, but basically a father, husband, and an MC, and everything else that comes with being an artist or MC. I've known Cook for a few years, but over last year, 2016, we definitely started getting closer, talking more. We, got the podcast on Platform Collection together, or we both have podcasts on that platform. And, I think because our lives are so similar, fathers and doing music and, our thought, even the way we think, a lot of it, so we got close, started talking to each other about things. And, I would say, you're the first person, or at least the top 3 people that I'm going to hit up about, ideas that I may have and go over it with you. So that was leading up to 2017. And obviously we're still doing that, but, he brings me the idea of the call and things like that. So I checked out. It was like some kind of introductory call, and I liked the way it went, and I jumped on. And, what it turned into for me is, for a lot of people going to the gym, let's say, there are some people in great shape, and they don't got no workout buddies. They just go and they do their thing, and that's great. I'm self-motivated as well. But a lot of times, especially when you're doing this juggling act, the parenthood, being a husband, doing music and everything that music comes with, because that's not just one thing, at least for me. It definitely helps to have somebody or like a group of people there to work out some of these things with, people coming from different perspectives. And, that's kind of what this has been for me a lot of times. I come work out material much like a comedian would on stage, and bring these ideas to these dudes that have became homies, people that, aside from Cookbook, I didn't even know or, anything like that. And now we kind of, I think the relationship, too, in that way is to a point where it's like, yeah, I'm comfortable with them and whatnot, but I present it to them in a different way because this is the way that we've met each other. This is the way that we jumped on the call together for this purpose of holding each other accountable for what we say we want to do. If you say you want to do something, what are you going to do in order to get there, And, putting out, these are my goals. At the beginning of the year, the idea was, I want to write more music. I want to spend more time with my family. And I want to move forward in a lot of these things that I'm doing in relation to music, whether it's promoting shows, whether it's all these things I've dabbled in over my career. And, fast forward to the end of 2017, as we go into the next year, my radio show has evolved into something called Bars Weekly. Started in July, about 6 months strong at this point, and just that alone has opened up a bunch of doors, and before that, it was something different. It was a different radio show, different format, all these things, and, people in this car, some of the people that I spoke to about that and the transition into it and things like that, and that's became something great, throwing shows here and there, and now I have a weekly residency, hip-hop wads out here in San Diego, so there's a lot of different things that, I would say I have other people that I personally speak with, obviously, as well. But every week I know I'm going to talk to these guys. I know I got these things happening. Sometimes something happens on a Monday, and I'm like, oh, okay, Sunday I'm going to be talking to these guys about it. So, more or less that's the way I approach it. And even if you're not the type that needs this type of or feel like you need people to tell you how to do things or whatever, because that's not what this is. You can benefit from it if it's for you, chopping it up with people, really letting them know more or less what you're working towards, because we're like-minded people, but we also come from different perspectives. So there's always something different that could be added. And, you know, in the end, it's all about what you do. It's all about you. And, I mean, that's what I feel. It's about you and what you're going to do about it. And you got these people kind of behind you giving their opinion on things, but also just kind of there to support. So that's how I took it. And, you know, over the last year, it's been a crazy ride. It's been tough sometimes to do every Sunday, you know, which is when we're doing our call. But ultimately, it's definitely contributed to my success this year and me evolving into the, you know, the artist and whatever business person I am at the moment. So, yeah, man, that's how I feel about it.
That's what's up. One thing I'll say, Kali, is you are very motivated, self-driven. You have a business mind already. And a lot of times people think that when they're already kind of popping in the way that you are, that they wouldn't need something like this. But the truth is that successful people are smart enough to know that they do need, like, coaches, mentors, accountability partners, support groups, or like a group, or some people that they go to that they bounce things off of, and also that accountability in their lives. And, like, you can look at a lot of people that are successful on levels much higher than ourselves, and if you dig into their lives, you will see them with multiple mentors, coaches, people that speak into their lives. And so the fact that somebody who already has a lot going on, could recognize that a call like this, that you jump on weekly, make yourself accountable to a small group of people, and that you could see that as a benefit, speaks to your character as somebody who is success-minded. So I commend you on that, brother. That's really good to hear all the things that you've been able to do.
Yeah, man. I mean, I like you said, everybody, you know, has some kind of court that they hold court with, you know, their people, no matter what level of success they are, advisors or just friends or family, whatever it is. And, like, you know, in order to reach that next tipping point, no matter who you are or what level of success you are, you need those advisors or those friends or confidants or, you know, people to help you move forward. So for me, this turned into that. You know, I've never had like a actual mentor. So I've always been somebody who is able to, you know, I guess use my peers as that, you know, be a part of a group of people, and we all kind of come up with it. So this kind of just, it's not like I knew what this was going to be when I jumped in, but this is one of the things that it turned into. So that's definitely
absolutely. That's kind of turned into like a tribe, you know, like on purpose we've created a tribe of like-minded people. And I'll say two things, and then I want to hear from my man Hayden. But one is that, you know, of course they say that you are the sum of the 5 people that you hang around with the most. And by putting yourself in a position like this and making yourself accountable to a group of people that want to succeed and have that drive, you're putting yourself around those 5 people that could potentially be the biggest influence on your life. Now, the last thing I'll say before we move on to Hayden is people always say that experience is the best teacher. And that is true for the most part, but the actual best teacher, the better teacher, is wisdom. And you gain wisdom from experience, but it doesn't have to be your experience. You can gain wisdom from the experience of somebody else. And I'll give you a quick example. I don't need to get bit by a snake to know that sucks and that you could die from it, because I can benefit from the wisdom of somebody else who got bit by a snake before. And the same thing goes for business. Like, I can benefit from something you've been through, and you can benefit from something I've been through, and we could use each other's wisdom and not have to go through certain experiences that might be uncomfortable or unpleasant for our lives. And I think that's a big part of what happens on this call as well. Hayden, would you agree with that, man?
Oh, yeah, for sure, man.
Well, cool, man. Let's jump into your story, man. Let me know a little bit about you. Let the people know what you've learned and what you've gained from this.
Sure. What's up, everybody? I'm Hayden, a.k.a. THC. I'm a producer out here in Nashville, Tennessee. And, yeah, man, I mean, I found out about the call just from really being a longtime fan of cookbooks and listening to the Really Dope podcast Huge fan of that, by the way. And
Thank you.
yeah, man, of course. I think probably right around this time last year when Cookbook decided to do the your teleseminar thing. I know it was I think it was something. I think it was 0 to 100. The goal seminar, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So and that seminar even alone was just really inspiring to me. And so I definitely knew I wanted to. I wasn't 100% sure what exactly to expect from the call, but I knew that it's something I wanted to be a part of. If it was, I think as inspiring as the teleseminar was, and man, it was great. I mean, right around that time, I was kind of, 2015 was a really rough year for me, and I literally quit music for a while. And 2016 was me kind of coming back to music a little bit, but not really sure. I didn't really have, I kind of knew what I wanted to do in a lot of respects, but I don't know. I was kind of having to reapproach music and reapproach kind of what I was thinking I was going to be doing with my career in music. And, and I was very, when I came into the call, I didn't really have great direction. I definitely wasn't, motivating myself to kind of get in the studio or kind of get to some of the things that I knew I needed to be doing. And so, when we first got on the call and kind of, set some goals for myself of some things that I needed to do, it was amazing. I mean, week by week, coming on this phone call and I think realizing, it's different when you're accountable to people, when, I have to get on the call and then I know throughout my week, okay, I have to get this, and this done this week, or I'm going to either have to get on this call and lie to these fools about, doing what I said I was going to do, or I'm going to have to tell them that I didn't do it, and they're going to have to ask me why, or, kind of
in your face a little bit.
Give me time about it. Yeah. Give me time about it. So, and so it's different. It's just and then, knowing that those are my two options, I'm just okay, well, neither one of those sounds good. So, shit, I'm about to do this. I'm about to.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't really feel like going to this show this week, but you know what? It's one of my goals, and I need to do it. And so it's been insanely motivating. And I think, as I've gone, week after week, and even kind of throughout the year, readjusting my goals a little bit, and then, even I think growing past some of the original goals that I set for myself. It's been great, and it has been seriously life changing. I'm not kidding. I have no idea. This has become such an integral part of my life and my, really just, functioning successfully. I think this has been so helpful. I mean, I've achieved, more this year, I feel with my career than I really have my whole rest of my career leading up to this point, which has been really, really amazing. And so, I'm super grateful. I mean, this year it's been cool, as I've been, now that it's the end of the year and I've been looking back at kind of what all I've achieved this year. It's been pretty amazing. I've gotten a lot. I feel I've gotten a lot just with my health and kind of mental and emotional, even kind of, I guess, spiritual mindset with some of the goals that I've set. I've grown a lot there, and I've gotten to get out and network a lot with a ton of people, and it's really interesting because now, for the first time in my life, I'm getting people who I don't know, know who I am, and be oh yeah, you're THC, or oh yeah, you're that dude who works with so and all that stuff, and I've had people that I don't know just recognize me, which is really crazy and weird because it's never happened to me in my life. But and then I've made more beats this year than I have in my whole life combined up until this point, for real. And so, and it's really cool. I've been a part. I've co-produced an album that's been released this year. I've produced a multitude of singles that have been released throughout the year, which have been really cool. And It's been amazing, man. I mean, this call is seriously seriously changed my life, and I really owe, and I've seen how, important it is to have these guys on this call to be accountable to, and to have these goals that I've set for myself and working towards them every week. Like how much that's just completely changed my life and my career, and I can't be more pleased with. I mean, this has been one of the best years of my life, like low key, and it's largely in part due to this call, like for real. So I can't speak to it enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Hayden, you've been a great example of what setting goals and making yourself accountable for those goals. You're a great example of somebody who took hold of it, dove in 100%, and the results started happening. And one of the things I like seeing with you throughout the year, Hayden, is having to set new goals and readjust because you start hitting certain things maybe quicker than you thought, or realizing, one of the things too that happens is you set goals, and then as you start going after them, and as we're holding you accountable and we're all encouraging each other, it also kind of helps you really identify and fine-tune what you really want. So I've seen you adjust goals, set new goals, set bigger goals, because you realize the ones that are that you set originally are really not big enough. And I think that in and of itself is what's been the thing that's caused so much success for you, and the work you've gotten, and the clients you've gotten as far as beats and producing and whatnot. And the other thing you touched on was accountability, which a lot of people get scared of that word because they ain't real about theirs. No, I'm just kidding. But like but anybody who wants to be successful and wants to have more things in their lives, I mean, you want to hedge your bets. You want to create a scenario where you can't fail, or where it's very uncomfortable for you to fail. And putting yourself in an accountability situation is a great way to do it, with people that are like-minded and motivated and also want success. You know what I mean? Because the balance that happens, it's like if I hold you accountable to what you're doing, I'm also on the call too. So I have to be on point as well, because who am I to say something to you and I didn't make my beats for the week, or I didn't write my songs, or I didn't do whatever I said I was going to do. And coming into this call, as I created this program, it's called Goal100. I mean, obviously, I'm going to set my goals and I'm going to do them. And I thought I was going to be the one kind of like more the hardcore, like quote unquote, enforcer of this and something. But something interesting also emerged was like the way you guys would hold each other accountable too, and get on each other for goals. And I don't think there's a better example of that emerging than my man Henry. He was like, on this particular call, he was the most gangster of us all. Like when you wouldn't get your goals for the week or something, like he was the most in your face. And I think I really enjoyed that aspect of it. One, because I didn't have to do it, but two, I think that was a great natural thing that grew out of this call. So Henry, man, I'd like to hear a little bit from you, brother, if you wouldn't mind telling us, who you are, what it is you do, and what this call has done for you.
Thanks, Cook. I'm not no gangster, but
I know. No, you're the goal. You're not a gangster, but you're the Goal100 gangster. How's that?
What up, guys? This is Henry at Landmarks. I'm a beat maker and sound engineer. I heard about Cook's Goal100 through media around this time last year, and I wasn't gonna sign up. But I said, hey, why not? So I sent the email, and Cook picked me to be on the call with everybody. We got on the call to network with these guys and see who I could meet. I really didn't know who would be on the call. I knew Cook would be on the call, and I knew Cook was a dope MC and a beat maker from the LA Underground. So I was like, why not? He might have something to teach me. So I got on the call, and we set goals. And every week, we met on Sunday, and basically to keep each other motivated and to make sure we're keeping up with the goals we set over the year. it definitely inspired me and motivated me to keep working every week so that I could have something to talk about on the Sunday morning call. The goals we set over the year, it definitely inspired me to make beats. That's one of my main goals, to become a better beat maker, and also put out the beats. I definitely feel like it kept me on point, and it was cool because over the year, man, these guys have become pretty close. We're kind of like friends, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like the call really has helped me. So I like I said, I basically got on the call to network with these guys and to meet new people, and I look forward to the next year with these guys. I don't have so much to say.
Well, I'll say this, Henry. First of all, it ain't kind of like friends, dog. You my friend, dog. What I'll say about you is I'd say, like, already as a beat maker, you have a pretty high output. Like, you work pretty hard. But the level of output and beat making has grown throughout the year. I mean, you put out, I want to say 2 or 3 beat tapes with like 30 beats on each throughout the course of this call, and those were part of your goals, and you would set them and you would do it, you would release. And one of the biggest areas of growth that I've seen with you is your more of your business side, the promo side, the social media presence side, learning how to, like, from this call and from some of the ideas you got, I would see you go and implement them. I'd see, like, your Instagram posts grow, your stories grow. You'd start putting yourself out there, and I would directly see, like, you're a good example of somebody who would come on the call, get some great ideas from the guys on this call, and then that week I would see it happen before my eyes, either on social media or whatever it is that you were doing. And again, that's a testament to you and you being able to implement the things that you receive from the call, but also it's a testament to that idea of being accountable and also having a place to come where you are motivated and you can bounce ideas off and get new ideas and network. Just like you said, it is a great networking opportunity, because one of the things that developed also from this call is that our individual networks became open to all of us as well. So, like, Kali brought, like, a promotional guy, like a PR guy that we all could use that came through him, or I have like a great engineer guy or whatever. Like, there's all these things that in our own networks that it just starts to open up and expand, and that just happened over time as well. And I really think that's another great benefit from the call. And another benefit from the call, I would say, is comic relief. And, like, there's always got to be one guy that's the butt of all the jokes. You know what I'm saying? And, of course, on this particular call, on this particular call, there was one guy. There's always one that arose as the whipping boy. And that is my man Chunjay, a.k.a. Jamie. But real talk, man. Jamie, we do crack a lot of jokes on the call on you, but I'm really inspired myself by your story and all that you've accomplished this year. So without no jokes, putting all the jokes aside, I'd love to hear from you, man, and if you could just tell the people,
I appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying, like what you've been able to achieve and what you're taking away from this year and this call.
Yeah, I'm happy to do it. My name is Jamie Bennett, also known as Chunjay from Royal Ruckus. My socials are at Royal Ruckus or at Royal Ruckus Official. I've known Cookbook for since the early days of LA Symphony. My crew, Royal Ruckus, started around the same time. We started up in Bakersfield, California, a couple hours from Los Angeles. And we've always used like a lot of positivity and humor and songs about girls. That's kind of like probably the three things that have always like characterized our music. They kind of dropped out of the scene for a while. You know, like we never stopped doing Royal Ruckus officially, but like there were a lot of years where we weren't doing anything. And we put out a new record back in February called The Summer of the Cicadas. And as we were preparing for that release, I had to start thinking about like, you know, what that was going to look like, what kind of promotions would need to go on. And I'd been working with Cookbook through some of his one-on-one coaching, which I'd heard about on the Really Though podcast. I think we did, what did we do, like 7 sessions, Cook?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, something like that, 7 to 10 sessions, something like that. And it really helped me like to start kind of focusing in. And then at the end of last year, you know, Cook announced that he was having that online seminar. And I thought, well, this just makes sense to be kind of the next thing. And then when the Goal100 call came up, it was never even a question for me. As soon as it was mentioned, I just had to, you know, ask myself how badly I wanted my goals accomplished. And I decided I wanted them badly enough that I would sit on the phone once a week and talk to some guys, most of them I didn't know at the beginning of the year. And my gosh, like it has been freaking incredible. I mean, I went from, you know, only having performed a few times in the last decade to, gosh, I think I locked in like 36 shows in 33 cities this year.
Nice.
And some of those connections were made from guys on this call. You know, I was able to hook up a couple California shows in places I didn't have any connections. And then there were times where like I was, you know, getting kind of tired of booking shows, but I'd get on the call and you guys would you know, encourage me, give me other ideas, give me other angles. And I put those into play, and most of those ideas worked. You know, one of the things I wanted to do as well was to lock in a number of features on radio shows or podcasts or blogs. And I think my goal at the beginning of the year was to lock in like 30 of them. And I wasn't very good about logging this last quarter, so I'm not sure the exact number, but I think I hit the 30. And that's just like interviews and features, but there were at least like a dozen other features, and yeah, I mean, I just couldn't have done probably even half of the stuff without you guys, and it's not even that like I hit everything. Like I brought a personal goal to the call, which shifted over the year, and that was related to my personal fitness, and I would say it changed so many times, I almost completely gave up. But without you guys busting my chops every week, I think it would have been even worse. So, even though I didn't quite hit my original goal on that, like you guys kept me going, and you know, I just really don't think that without that feedback, I would have done nearly as much. So I'm really appreciative for the last year with you guys.
Well, dope, man. We appreciate you, man. And, hey, man, we're sorry, man, for all the jokes, bro. We're sorry. But kind of not. Anyway, I mean, there you have it. This is we wanted to do this, and really these guys, this came from them that they wanted to get on and give their testimonials because, you know, as of right now, we're I'm in an enrollment period for Goal100 for 2018, and they really wanted to get the chance to let anybody out there who is thinking about doing something like this, to let them know that how beneficial it really is. And as far as, you know, Jamie touched on me as a personal coach, and I do coach people one-on-one, and that is, you know, that is significantly more expensive than this Goal100 program. And that's part of the reason why I created this program, because I wanted to create something that was more affordable to people and that more people could take advantage of right away. And, you know, not everybody thinks they need coaching or consultation or this kind of a thing. Kali, if you had to say one thing to somebody about that they might be on the fence, what would you say to them that stands out in your mind as a reason why they should go ahead and enroll in Goal100?
Well, first thing I would say is do like a free consultation, because why wouldn't you? The whole point to everything in this life that I've noticed is like there's some kind of fear and like ego, and a lot of those things are one and the same, and all it is a roadblock right there. And sometimes somebody just put like a cone there to make you think you ain't supposed to go there. Point is, before I get too crazy metaphorical, just try it. Just try it. Get through that first little whatever your reservations are, because if you truly don't know, then why wouldn't you just give it a try? But ultimately, you have an opportunity to speak with other people who are we're there to like help each other get to the next step, whatever that next step is, to talk with each other, to be like, I don't like that idea, or, oh, I actually tried this. Let me, this was my experience with this. What do you think? Oh, that helps, like just having the conversation that's specific to making each other move forward and progress. That's what the call's about. So you always have something to offer, and let's say you're the one who has the most experience or the most level of success or the most progressed human being on the call. Well, taking jiu-jitsu, I learned that the professors who teach, once they start teaching, they learn more, becoming the teachers. So even if you think you're the one that's going to be coming in teaching the class, I don't feel like you should have that ego about yourself, but that's fine. You still have something to gain from it, because as a speaker or someone because we're here to help each other anyways. You know what I mean? So all these things together are just more reasons to give it a try and see if it's something for you, because if you're really trying to move forward, then there's no reason why you shouldn't try something, especially if you get a free opportunity to have like a free, because before this I did a free call with Cook, and he's my homie. Like we basically talk about these types of things anyways, and I still did a free coaching session with him, and it was my first idea of what that type of thing is even about. And that's, going back even like further past before that 0 to 100 call. That's another reason why I jumped on this call. So you just need to give it a try. Get outside of yourself and give it a try.
I think that's good, man. Anybody who wants a free one-on-one coaching session, I always offer that so they can know what it is that I do and how it can benefit them. As far as Goal100, there is definitely a cap on the enrollment. There's 20 spots, and they will fill up quick, and enrollment closes January 31st. So there is a limited time. So if you did want to book a one-on-one, you definitely want to contact me. You can hit me at goal100info@gmail.com, and you can book a session, and that'd be great. And I do like what you said, and we'll start wrapping it up from here, that this type of thing, a coaching call, an accountability call, a success call, whatever you want to call it, it really is for anybody that wants more out of their lives, no matter where they're at in their lives. If you're just beginning, it's a great call. If you're already into your career and you're doing things, it's a great call. If you're successful, it's a great call. If you're more successful than me, that's okay. It's still a great call, because it doesn't matter how much more success you have than another person. There is value in accountability, and there's also value in the fact that I may not be as successful as everybody, but I do know how to coach, and I've been trained and certified to do that. And so I come with a confidence in knowing that this call really could benefit anybody. Gentlemen, if I haven't missed anything, then I'd like to end. But if there's anything that you think I missed that you may want to throw in here, now will be the time.
I'd like to underscore something. I think there's two principles that led me to this call, and one is surrounding yourself with people that are doing what you want to be doing, and convincing them to mentor you or work alongside you. And this call, I didn't know who was going to be on here, but I ended up surrounding myself with highly motivated people, which made me even more motivated. And I also want to say that, and I think you touched on this a little bit earlier, but hearing people's failures and then overcoming those failures and their successes is highly motivating to me. So being able to get on this call, even when one or another of us isn't hitting the goals, 1 week, the next week we may be going above and beyond, and hearing the struggle and all of that is I think very important. So it's almost like you got to hear and you got to speak for these calls. That's all I'm doing. Yeah.
Cool. Well, guys, I really appreciate you. Thanks for sharing your testimonies, and hopefully the things that you had to say would help anybody out there that's on the fence to go ahead and make the decision. It's probably the most economical way I can think of for people to really get the kind of high-level coaching and accountability that anywhere else they would pay a lot more for. And I appreciate your guys' time. I look forward to working with you guys more in the future. And let's set our goals for 2018 and let's crush them, guys.
Yeah.
So,
all right, brothers. Thank you very much. We are out of here. Contact me.
All right, gentlemen.
Goal100info@gmail.com. Thanks, fellas. Talk to you later.
Peace.
Peace, guys.